Let's welcome to the Connie Fife Show, Tabitha Laser.
Hi, thanks, Connie. Thanks for having me back. Hi.
I'm so thrilled that you're back now. Let's just jump right into the conversation where we left off. So we were talking about women, and I mean, there's a lot of conversation about women in the C-suite and how women are still, fighting their way and clawing their way to get there. And about 6% of women now actually sit in C-suite positions, which is really up like 3.5% from just a couple of years ago. But they claw their way up, and when they're clawing, they're actually doing it to other women. And that's the one thing that I had experienced on my way up the corporate ladder, and I made it to the C-suite. But even when I was sitting in a CEO seat, there were still people throwing you under the bus. And those people were mostly women that were throwing you under the bus. And I quickly learned that I worked better with men than I did women.
Right.
And I mean, it truly, it scares me to see that happening, because when we do that and we're not helping each other, we're not supporting each other, that 6%, that's not going to grow very quickly.
Right. Yeah, it's actually declined a little bit in the last year from the recent studies. So we do struggle with that. We struggle to support each other. And there's a lot of good reasons for that are actually psychological and part of how we are and who we are. And actually what makes us successful hurts us in some ways.
It really does. And I know, like Sheryl Sandberg talked about that in her book, Lean In, on how, women really need to come together and help each other and really support each other with that. But I guess the question is how do we get women to really step up and work with each other and, and give a hand up to somebody else?
That's a great question. I think it really goes to understanding who we are and the need for leadership development in the U.S. and around the world. Honestly, we're at a young age. We're taught to manage things. In fact, a lot of women get the stigma of being task managers. Sure. Right? We work ourselves to the bone trying to prove we're good enough to stand with the men. And in doing that, we do a lot, which actually ends up hindering us, because in the doing, we do so well that a lot of folks don't want to promote us because you do so good, I can't replace you. Right. And in doing so much, again, going back to not having the leadership development that actually teaches us to educate, inspire, motivate, and hold people accountable, and missing those bits, we end up getting in a place where we feel like we have to compete for everything. And in competing for everything, we're trying to show the men that we're as good, if not better. So we rarely go after the men because they're our competition in this race, right? Instead, we go after other women because we see them as competing in our space to compete with the men. Does that make sense?
Right. So, you're competing on both sides, but I guess, I don't know if it's the easier place, but the person you see most threatening to you is that other woman sitting there. Right.
Because you're both trying to say we're better than that other competition, right? Yes. And in doing so, I was a task manager for years, and I tried to lead, and I really struggled with it. To inspire and motivate has always been my passion, but I've struggled with it because I didn't understand what leadership truly was. And how it was important to get to know what motivates other people. And how to truly listen, not just with my ears, but with my eyes. And there's a lot of research out there that says that women's brains and men's brains are different. They say men put things in a box. So, for example, men will put things in a box, and they'll go to that box, they'll deal with that issue, and then once they put it away, they go to a different box. And they stick very much with that flow, where our brains are more like a ball of wire. So everything is going all the time, and we don't know how to compartmentalize things like that. So where this plays, like men can go at each other right in a meeting and just, yell it out.
Right.
And then that box closes and then they go play golf together.
Right. Okay, I'll see you now, in the ninth hole or something. Right.
Yeah,
and the
we don't do that.
Still sitting there like,
yeah, we just fume over it, and our wires are just, fuming, and the fuse is about to pop. And so because our brains are different, we respond differently to different situations.